Coach, there's an opportunity before this whole thing started. You know, we hadn't got an invitation. We hadn't been to a bowl game in 13 years. This is the first one in 20 years. But we had to we had a chance to pick and choose. There was 4 bowl games that contacted us. Why was this the correct one for us this year?
There was things bigger in Texas, they said, so we came to Texas. But it was the most inviting. I think the kids wanted to rather play in this one. I'd rather play in this one. So it worked out very well.
Your record improves overall at Northwest 35-13. You're the second winningest coach. I'll fire this question away first. It was rumored that if you finished this bowl game and won this bowl game, this might be your last one at Northwest, and that you would retire and go out in style. You've been coaching, 30-something years now, and your wife's been there every step of the way. She's never missed a game in college and high school. 304 straight games.
305.
305 straight games. You got me. Pay attention. And, what can you maybe say to the Northwest fan base and everybody about what's the future hold for Coach Woods?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When we get back, we're going to talk about it. I'm not real sure what I'm going to do. I'm contemplating it, but me and her sit down and figure out what we're going to do.
Offensively for Northwest, we go over 500 yards for the 4th time this year. It's kind of a tale of two halves. We go in with a comfortable lead, 32-7 at halftime. The Kilgore came out and played a heck of a game in the second half and made it very, very close at the end there. How did you keep the guys focused in the halftime locker room with a large lead like that? We played probably the best first half of football we've played all year.
Well, they know we're playing a quality opponent, and everybody's got athletes and everybody can run. The game can change very, very quick. But we've been in this situation before, and I think we played hard all night long. In the third quarter, Kilgore just made some plays. You have to give credit to them. So I think as far as our play, that we played about as good as we could play all day long.
This was go ahead.
Coach, even with all the offense, and you did have a great offensive day, defense seemed like that's what got you going in the first half.
That's right. We got I think a great defensive line, and one of these guys is with us here now. And I think we got a lot of pressure and got to the quarterback a lot. So as long as they were putting a little pressure on him, it helps the secondary. So we say bend but not break, and that's sort of what we did today.
We had 8 tackles for loss in the game, a couple more interceptions. We came into the game second in the country in interceptions with 25, now with 27. It's only second to, I think, another team that had 32 this year. You've had the same staff just about the whole time you've been here. And then also Jordan Leslie, our defensive line coach, was at Kilgore and came back this year to Northwest. Did that give us any kind of edge at all, having the familiarity, having a Kilgore man on staff?
Well, I've done this before, moved from one place to the other. Actually, it helps Kilgore more because those guys that played for him last year wanted to beat him worse than he wanted to beat them. So I think they had a little more incentive. But I think for a game preparation, it might have helped him a little bit because he'd worked I think he'd worked maybe 3 years at Kilgore, with 1 year with me and 1 year back with Kilgore. But I think it was sort of a rivalry between him and the kids. Of course, it was a nice rivalry. He thinks a lot of these kids at Kilgore just like he does ours. So it was a good experience for him. Jordan really needed to win. Coach Leslie did.
Coach, another question too. Playing in an atmosphere like this. We talked about coming into the game. We have 55-man roster. There's probably a good 45 guys on our roster that have never been out of the state of Mississippi. Can you maybe kind of, in a nutshell, talk about this whole experience for our players and just the opportunity to go somewhere that they may never see again?
Well, I hadn't been out about 3 times myself, so it's an experience for me. But I know that I talked to a young man at the hotel the other night in the lobby, and I asked him, because I know we have a lot of never been out of the state. And I asked him, has he ever been to Texas? He said he lives 60 miles from Memphis, Tennessee. And he said, furthest I've been is Memphis, Tennessee. So he said, I've never been anywhere. And he said, I've traveled further with this team, even in Mississippi than I've ever traveled away from home. So it was a great experience for these guys. We've got several that's never been out of the state.